CTV's John Watt was on the scene shortly after police got the 911 call. John?
Well, as we arrived, so did frantic parents. They were running, they were worried. All that they knew was that there was a shooting at these homes behind me, the same place where they dropped off their children just hours before. That caused a chain reaction of collisions stretching 4 kilometers down the highway. What we do know is that the people who actually live next door, which is also within the cordoned off area, will not be allowed back into their homes. And here along the shorelines of Norway Lake, there are still many people who have bigger problems than having no power. How about having absolutely no roof? Just to give you an example of how big that actually is, here at the Ottawa plant, this pipe is 2.5 meters, more than a meter less than the original. Now, the reason why the Goose Buster is so effective is on top of adding predator sounds, it is also able to match the speed and altitude of the geese themselves. And just to show you how narrow some of these streets have really become, you can imagine how hard it is to fit a car through here when this street can barely fit 3 of me side by side. A morning commute ending in carnage.
Everyone had shouted, "Stop, stop!" And then as I looked up, the bus was coming into contact with the gate, and the front of the bus, it all impacted at once, and everyone flew.
An OC Transpo bus colliding with a Via Rail passenger train. Rebecca Gilbo was on the bus heading downtown with her 1-year-old son Jace at the time of impact around 8:50 this morning.
A whole bunch of people just piled on him, and I just kind of wedged myself between them and took him out of his stroller, and then at that point everyone was getting off the bus.
6 people have been confirmed dead, at least 30 injured.
We've lost 6 of our neighbors, people who started off this bright sunny day, as we all did, heading from their homes and loved ones to go about with their daily lives. And then this terrible tragedy struck, and in literally a moment we've lost 6 residents of our city. Hundreds of others, family members, friends, and colleagues were also affected today, and a void has been left in these lives that will be impossible to fill.
Survivors and witnesses haunted by what they saw.
I've seen a few people dead, someone ripped in half. Just feels so bad.
That's probably the worst part about it for me anyway, is that.
I've never seen anything like this, ever. It's pretty sad.
As the bodies are removed, the Transportation Safety Board looking at the speed and braking capabilities of both the train and bus.
The investigation is going to be very complex, as other accidents that we have investigated in the past. In order to do a complete and thorough job, our team will take the time required to determine what happened in a very thorough manner and to arrive at specific findings. This could take several months.
Witnesses say the barriers were down, the lights were flashing, warning that the westbound train was coming. Most say the bus did not appear to slow down.
I don't know what happened. I don't know if the bus driver blacked out. I don't know what happened, but it was just, he didn't slow down.
The guardrails were down, and I just looked over and I saw the double-decker bus. Looked like he just kept going and going and going, and instantly I was kind of shocked by it, and right away as soon as I looked over, I just saw him hit the train. And
It happens almost in slow motion at that point. I mean, you see the train, you see the bus isn't slowing down.
And even as the survivors are reunited with their loved ones, their relief is overshadowed by the grief around them.
My more concerns are for everyone else around everywhere.
John, at the end of the story there, we heard from somebody concerned about people around them. That's something you heard a lot of today.
Yeah, absolutely. Once when that dust settled, everyone would just focus on getting everyone out of that bus. And even that mother, Rebecca Gilbo, once when she knew her 1-year-old was okay, her mind and her thoughts went to everyone else.
John Waugh has our exclusive story tonight. John.
Well, for those people who think those signs are a bluff, we're about to show you an OPP blitz to prove it's very real. It's the sound speeders never want to hear.
Always good to rock and roll.
Something they'll never see coming. It's the Ontario Provincial Police's bird's eye view of bad drivers.
We're about 2,800 feet above ground.
Up in the air and down on the ground.
10 more.
The OPP Aerial Enforcement Unit patrolling Highway 17 near Arnprior.
We're actually telling the motoring public by way of signs on the side of the road that we conduct aircraft patrol. And despite that, we still have people taking big chances. Coming up to a set of lines in 3, 2, 1.
How it works, these hash marks on the highway, the starting line of a 500-meter dash to catch speeders.
Burgundy reddish vehicle coming up to your left here, and he'll be passing you right now.
Observer Constable Christopher Colton calls it in.
And the one that you're behind is the correct vehicle.
And Interceptor Constable Darren Chaplin pulls the car over.
The reason I stopped is the aircraft got you for speeding coming through the passing lanes.
Clock going almost 40 over the speed limit is a costly risk.
$271 will be the total cost of this speeding ticket, as well as an additional $110 for not having his driver's license with him.
Okay, I see the guy's passing on the right now as well.
The plane showing police how drivers really behave when patrols aren't in plain view.
There still are very rarely days that go by where I don't shake my head. It still surprises me to this day of some of the things that I see out there.
Guy's on what looks like a green Cavalier. Look at him, he's on the shoulder.
Holy jumping.
This green Cavalier caught swerving off the road.
He hit the shoulder multiple times and crossed center line as well.
The charge for careless driving, a $325 fine and 6 demerit points.
Actually careless driving?
Well, that's what it was, sir.
And vehicle.
And 3, 2, 1.
After vehicle, the crackdown from up here.
It was a plane that got you at 117 kilometers per hour.
Never slows down.
There is always that potential that there is the eye in the sky until such time that you're being intercepted. At that point, it's too late.
John Huas, CTV News.